Hello and welcome to another edition of Chattin' with Janine. I'm your host, State Representative Janine Nodder. And my guest this week, you might recognize him because he's on the channel next door. When you watch the town council meetings, you might notice this man, Bill Boyd. Welcome, Bill Boyd.
How are you, Janine? Thank
I'm
you.
good. Councilor Boyd, but I'm hoping that I will be able to call you Representative Boyd after the April election.
We got a lot of hard work ahead, and I share the same sentiment as you. I'm hoping April 13th, the title goes from town councilor to state representative. That would be wonderful.
Yeah. I know it's under tragic circumstances
Yes.
that you're running, because I don't think I've mentioned it on my show since it happened, but we lost our Speaker of the House, Dick Kinch
Right.
of Merrimack. At our last session, I finally had an opportunity to give the remarks that I wrote for him.
They were nice. They were really beautiful remarks, Janine, and it was nice that WMUR picked up on part of your comments as well.
Yeah.
I thought that was appropriate.
Yeah, I didn't know they did
Yeah,
that.
they
So
did.
I was asking, I said,
They
well,
did.
what part did they, because I had a lot of funny little stories, because,
Right.
he was always joking, and
He was larger than life. He knew a lot of people, but I don't think I ever saw him frown. To be perfectly honest with you, I think when he was angry with me once, and he was angry with me with a smile. So I don't think a frown was in his system. At least that's been my experience. So
Mm-hmm. No, I've seen him frown, but
well,
he
that's
didn't let
because
it show.
you get to
He
work
didn't-
with him up there. I didn't.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I didn't even realize, how, because people were calling all night. You were one of them,
Right.
and I just was crying all into the next day, and it was horrible.
it saddened a lot of people. It saddened the community in the worst possible way. You go from 1 minute a guy being larger than life, and now he's not with you. And it just is indicative of what we are going through as a society right now with this pandemic. And it's just like I said, when I put my name to this race, I did so reluctantly because I don't see myself replacing or succeeding Dick Hinch, because you can't.
No,
I'm just looking to
agree
fill the
with you.
void and offer my name as an alternative to continue his legacy up in Concord, and I do believe that. So hopefully the vote as well. So
Well, yeah, so it's hard talking about
it
it. I'm
is.
sorry.
It's very difficult.
But this was his seat, and I know that, given who we have in town who was able to run, I think that he would be very happy that if the seat goes to you.
I hope so. You're starting to well up.
I know.
Don't start
I know.
crying on me.
I'm trying not to. It's just it's hard. It's some days are fine, and then
It's okay.
yeah.
It's okay.
Because it's like you'll find, you're gonna get elected, and you're gonna find that being in the legislature, it's a family. We really do become a
Right.
family, and black sheeps and all.
No, indicative with the crisis that happened with regretfully the Democrats walking out. I really appreciated the conciliation between Speaker Packard and Leader Cushing.
Right.
Rushing.
And
Rennie Cushing.
Rennie Cushing, yes.
Yeah, I thought that was a really nice moment. I really thought that changed the tone for the session. At least that's the way I felt.
Rennie's a nice man. We don't agree on policy at all, but
Right.
he's not a disagreeable person.
No.
So
I've dealt
that
with-
was part of the speech that Speaker Packard gave,
Yeah.
and Dick Hinch was like a brother to Sherm, Mr. Speaker. And,
Right.
it was really hard for them to pick up the pieces, and Jason Osborne, who's our majority leader,
Mm-hmm.
but we had to go forward. So I work in the majority office. I'm the whip. So,
Right.
and that's kind of a scary title. So
No, it's not. It's just the coin of the term whip is you're responsible for quote unquote whipping votes. That's your job. It's your job to make sure that the party's in line with the leadership.
well, I also organize the floor debates, and I
there you go.
really like that
you,
job.
You shared that with me, which I did not know. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, did I show you a picture? Because it's
Yeah.
like so, and now they even changed the policy, because it used to be everybody called the clerk's office, and now
Right.
they're supposed to call me, and I call the clerk's office. So, and I enjoy that. I enjoy putting down all the committees and the debates and getting it to the clerk. I did that last year too.
Good for
I
you.
always followed along. So whenever there was an issue, like somebody was speaking that then was accused of being speaking out of turn, I'm like, no, I have them down as speaking. So it happens.
You got your list, and you checked it twice.
Yes. So I know all the names, and now I'm putting the faces to the names.
Good.
So I just and we have a lot of freshmen, and it's it's difficult that we can't see them.
Right.
So, the
Right.
LOB is a ghost town these days.
Yep.
So, you've been up to the State House many times. You've
Absolutely. So it is quiet. I think, matter of fact, I was down in Boston yesterday for a family matter, and it's quiet in downtown Boston. When I had parked my car and was going to keep my appointment, could not get over the lack of the hustle and the bustle that you would see on the around South Station, which is where I was. And the people I saw, they were all wearing their mask outside, like myself. So
outside.
Yeah, outside.
I'm just not gonna wear it outside. That's where I draw the line.
Well,
if I was knocking on doors, then I would.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But well, you know where my office was last term.
Yep.
Well, now I'm across the hall and I don't share it with anybody. So
Good for you.
It's like nice.
Nice and quiet.
Nice and quiet. I know it's too quiet, so I leave the door open because there are a few reps here and there, and they'll poke their head in and say hello. But it's just so different this year. There's nobody from the public is there. Once in a while we'll get one Democrat, maybe.
Right.
They're starting to filter in just one at a time, but most of them are on Zoom. They were told not to go into the building. I'm like, okay, some go anyway, but
Zoom's been a godsend for not just the state, but also here in Merrimack. While the town council was Zooming for a bit, and now that we're back meeting in council chambers, with my role on the planning board, we're still meeting by Zoom. Conservation Commission still meeting by Zoom. So
now we have to talk about candidate billboards.
Yes. Anywho.
So, one of the biggest issues still for Merrimack is the water.
Right.
And is it still on the? I should go on the town website look around every once in a while.
Our town website remains up to date with everything that we're doing.
Does it have the whole history of the water?
There is. There's a narrative in there from when we first got when this first was disclosed to us some 4 or 5 years ago. The entire narrative is online still. It is maintained, which is a good thing. And with all the legislation that's been going through Concord, there's been a variety of different bills. The most one, House Bill 478, which will be coming up on Friday. There's still a lot more work that needs to be done. We're building off of 1181, which set the parameters for what is considered to be acceptable limits as it relates to PFOAs in town. So,
you mean 1101?
1101. Excuse me.
I was
Excuse me.
like 1181.
No,
I know that.
I apologize. 1101. I meant to say 0.
And that was Dick Hinch's bill.
And that was Dick Hinch's bill.
And he wanted to have co-sponsors from other areas.
And he had a lot of co-sponsors for that.
So I don't care if my name is on the bill or not, because we need to get things done.
Right.
It doesn't matter whose name is on it.
But now that we have the limits, we're building on that. The town council, along with the state, we're holding Saint-Gobain accountable. We filed for injunctive relief in Hillsborough Superior Court.
Yeah, I saw that you posted that. Yes.
And which is really exciting. I can tell to your viewers that as a result of that happening, Saint-Gobain has now shown up with a complete set of plans and a complete set of documents for our building department to be able to review, which they're doing right now. It was 3 binders worth of information. It wasn't that single sheet of paper with a mimeocopied piece of half a plan that they showed up with. They actually showed up with, going back, drawing on my planning board experience, they're actually showing up with a legitimate piece of work that says this is what we're looking to do on our site, and we need your help to help us get this. So, the building department has it; they're reviewing it, and we would not have received those binders if it wasn't, the town council acting collectively as a whole, wanting to litigate this in court to get relief, and the state follows suit as well. So, huge win for the community. That didn't buy into the lie that Saint-Gobain was perpetrating, that they were, quote unquote, the town's obstructing. We weren't obstructing at all one bit. So really happy with how that came to fruition. But it's a long road. We need we need the regenerative thermal oxidizer in place. We need the scrubber on top of the RTO so that it cleans that particular byproduct, so we're not running into the same problem.
And who's paying for it? That's the
it's
Saint-Gobain.
If they build it, they will pay for it. This is their responsibility. Otherwise, they're not. We're going to work hard to ensure that if they are functioning, they're functioning, but their furnaces aren't working and they aren't belching, PFOAs into the atmosphere. They're not belching hydrogen fluoride, which is the byproduct of what the RTO does in cleaning the PFOAs. That's the byproduct. It's hydrogen fluoride. It's actually worse. It's actually worse than PFOAs. So if you can picture hydrogen fluoride going into, wells 4 and 5, dropping and, permeating the ground, going to well 4 and 5, it creates a much worse situation than what we've already experienced. I mean,
you've all become experts on the whole.
Well, you have to be. Yeah. You need an advanced degree in chemistry to understand exactly what they're doing. And thank God, the town has Sarita Croce, who is an amazing, amazing individual down at wastewater. This is her background. This is her professional background. She knows this inside out. And the council and everybody else that's been affiliated with wanting to. That's been wanting to take on Saint-Gobain, they know Sarita Croce's name very well, and the gravitas that she's brought to the situation has been second to none. So, as a community, as the 9th largest community in New Hampshire, we've been very lucky in that regard. Mm-hmm. So, but moving forward, we need that work done because, we're spending money. MVD is spending money to build filtration systems to clean up wells 4 and 5.
And where is wells 4 and 5?
Wells 4 and 5 are right on DW Highway. They are south of Saint-Gobain. They are tucked in behind where the new Flatley project is, the new apartment complex that went up. You get Saint-Gobain, and then you get the apartments. It's Gilbert Apartments,
yes.
And then the old fire station.
They want a light. There's people there that called me and asked me that they need a light to get out.
A stoplight to get in and get out.
Yeah.
Planning board talked about that, and it was suggested that they put some type of a light there to mitigate the traffic. So obviously that's a piece that needs to be worked on, because I don't disagree. I don't know
why things take so long to get done.
Right. Well, part of that road's owned by the DOT. So.
Right, and the
lobbyists. The DOT's been the bane of my existence since been on the council.
Yeah, and I talked to the lobbyist who actually lived in Merrimack, but now he's since moved. But
right.
And he was talking to the DOT, trying to help these people out. And I don't know what you have to do. It's so hard to get things done sometimes. It just takes time.
But if you talk about getting things done, Governor Sununu, back when the water crisis hit Merrimack, there was a commission that was put together to manage a trust fund that came as a result of the MTBE settlement with ExxonMobil. It's close to $270 million. I sought appointment and was appointed by Governor Sununu to the New Hampshire Drinking Water and Groundwater Advisory Commission. And as a result of sitting on the commission, I've been exposed to a myriad of different water problems that exist, not just here in Merrimack and not just in the southern New Hampshire region, but all over New Hampshire. And the problems that exist are a little bit different from what we have, but they're still it's a lot of the same problems. A lot of people up in the North Country, they're, because of the drought that we're having right now, they are being forced to look for new wells because the old well isn't perking. It's not repercolating. So they have to dig for a new well to be able to provide potable water to the place where they live. So the groundwater, the Drinking Water and Groundwater Commission has been involved on water quality, infrastructure, source water development, and well development for just recently for private well owners in New Hampshire. So, but the good thing about me, I've learned a heck of a lot from talking with people at DES. I've learned a lot from some of the private water companies that come to testify that we're seeking loans and grants from the commission. The beauty of it, and again, with a little help from Speaker Hinch, we were able, through my involvement on the commission, we were able to leverage the commission, be able to approve $2.5 million in infrastructure monies to MVD to rebuild the Turkey Hill Road well that exists. Completely rehab, I don't want to say reconstruction, but a rehab of the well there. We were able to leverage close to $8 million in grant and loan money to MVD for the mitigation and the construction of the wells, of the pump wells, and the new granulated activated carbon system that's being put in by MVD to clean the waters of well 4 and 5. I had a hand in that, which I was proud of. I was very happy to take that vote. And then one of the last things for our Pennachuck utility users, Pennachuck wanted to expand their service coverage. They were looking to have a backup source for their well system that feeds off of Pennachuck Brook, and we approved $5 million in grant and loan monies to Pennachuck to dredge and build a pump and well right in the Merrimack River. So when you look at all the work and the money that's being expended to provide the users of Merrimack Village District, to provide the users of Pennachuck access to clean potable water, everything points north to San Gobain, and San Gobain has to hold up their end of the bargain, because if they don't clean up their act and if they don't fix the problem, it exacerbates a situation that is going to be south of them. And it's not just MVD, it's not going to be Pennachuck, it's potentially Litchfield, it's potentially Londonderry, Nashua, and that's the Merrimack River that goes all the way down and flows out into the Atlantic Ocean and all the users in between from the New Hampshire border to Massachusetts. So
Bill Boyd, drinking groundwater crusader.
I wouldn't say it that way, but I've been very lucky. But I've also learned a lot in the process, and I know who the people are, who's involved, and you know where to go to get information, so that you can make a good decision.
And I've known you for I don't know how long, since before the mall went in.
That's correct.
Mall, and I've seen you on the town council, and I know that you do your homework, whatever the issue is. I don't even remember what it was. There was one time I was sitting in a town council meeting, and there was some issue, and you start putting stacks of files on top and said, "Okay, I've done this research. Do you remember what that was about?" I have no idea.
I honestly don't. I honestly don't. But when you're talking with people out in the community, it's really important to kind of give them the basics so that they understand the issue. And if you get somebody that wants to get granular, all the better, because I'm more than happy to talk nuts and bolts about anything. I think that's important that people understand. How did we get from A to Z? I mean, one quick example would be the MS4 wastewater permit, which was an unfunded mandate being perpetrated by the EPA upon the town of Merrimack. And it was this wastewater permit that was meant for all of the big, water countries and urban metropolitan centers like Boston, New York, Chicago, and Los Angeles. And it was a cookie cutter, one size fit all permit that they slapped on the town of Merrimack. And there was no way. There's no way in heck that we were going to be able to be compliant, and quite honestly, potentially expose the town to third-party lawsuits, because if we weren't complying with this permit, it wouldn't stop a third-party organization like the Sierra Club or the National Wastewater Management Association or any one of those particular affiliates coming in and filing a lawsuit federally saying Merrimack's not holding up their end of the bargain. Regardless of that, we're aware of it and we're trying to fix the problem. You have to be permit compliant. So coming full circle, the council was made well aware of it, and we allocated money so that we're addressing that particular problem, so that we're not being litigated. We're attacking stormwater issues here in Merrimack as well.
When I hear your name, Bill Boyd, what comes to mind is dogs, marathon running, the mall, because we were on opposite sides of
That's
that.
correct.
So disagreed, but not disagreeable.
Correct.
Then town council, of course, water, but now it's like drinking and groundwater crusader, Bill Boyd.
Well,
that's who you are.
Don't forget that I think if people that have paid attention to the town council meetings know that I share a little bit of a disdain for the Department of Transportation. I honestly think that they are tone deaf, especially with the F.E. Everett Turnpike expansion that's going to be coming up. And as they widen that road and as construction vehicles are moved on, and when barriers are being built up, I know that the
will follow.
I know the neighbors, along Back River Road and Daniel Webster Highway and everything else in between. There's going to be people that'll be getting off because they don't want to deal with any of the northbound or the southbound traffic, and it is going to create a problem.
Well, Back River Road already is a problem.
It's
a freeway.
Yep, that's correct.
So,
correct.
That was the problem when we took out exit 12, and that became a freeway. That's unfortunate.
And I testified on a bill to do away with exit 10, and part of the issue with not that I'm against doing away with exit 10, but you're opening up the door to DOT wanting to put, overhead tolling plazas down somewhere, south of exit 10. So it totally defeats the purpose of all the work that was done regarding exit 12 and exit 11 to give toll rate relief to our commuters that either, if they're not working north of here, they're most certainly working, south of here within the 128, 495 belt. So you need somebody that's not going to be afraid to hold DOT to the carpet on that particular issue. So
We have 6 minutes left.
wow,
I know that went by so
that
fast.
went by very quick.
So
Went by very quick.
I know, and this is not, getting back, the election is April 13th.
That's correct.
And it's never well attended. I don't know why people don't go out and vote in the April elections.
I think this will be a little bit different. I know that there will be a contested council race. I know there most certainly will be a contested school board race. I know that there is a non-binding referendum regarding gerrymandering that will be on the ballot. Obviously, you're going to have the school board had their deliberative session last night, March 1st.
I was there. I went.
And obviously, our deliberative session is going to be the following Tuesday on the 16th. So there's going to be, significant budget items that we're going to be asking the community to participate in and evaluate and hopefully approve. And I know that there's potentially, I think there's going to be one more ballot question. I don't want to be held in contempt and be premature if I'm wrong about it, but there's potentially another ballot question. Then obviously you have the special election.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, so I'm hoping, I'm helping. I'm writing notes. See, I'm writing notes for you. Like
I appreciate that.
I asked for your vote for Bill Boyd on April 13th,
that.
and I'm signing it. So these are handwritten. So I just found I have more Post-it notes. So
I appreciate your help with that. It means a lot.
Yeah. Well, I want you to win. So you
I know
obviously
you do.
have my endorsement.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Janine.
And I like you have two different sets of lit.
So the first lit was put up by a third-party group that I have no control over, but the green lit, that's me.
Yeah.
That's all mine. I had the concept and I worked with the printer to develop that. So.
Oh, nice. Well, these were dropped off at my house, so these are the ones I'm putting my notes on. So
good.
I'm going to try and get out there. And I know Maureen Mooney's been making calls for you. Representative Mooney. Yes. Yeah.
I appreciate that.
So wish you all the best. And we have about 4 minutes left.
Thank
so
you.
Just start firing off. You can talk.
I can talk. To all of the faithful viewers of Chatting with Janine, as many of you know, as of April, it'll be 10 years that I've served you on the town council. We've managed our budget prudentially. We've managed our budgets really well. We've held the line on property taxes from $475 to $550. We've done so with transparency, and we've done so while not impacting quality of life issues that are important to you. Making sure that we have paved roads, plowed roads, safe bridges, clean parks, clean, access to Natticook Lake, our dog park. The specific quality of life issues that you care about, that you access daily. The town council's worked very hard. Like me being a part of the town council, we've worked very hard providing those particular services. It's that level of diligence and attention to detail that I hope is worthy of you for your consideration in serving you as your state representative up in Concord. And it would be, as it has been for the last 10 years, it would continue to be my honor and my privilege to serve you up in Concord as your state representative. I know they're already in session right now. I think things are going to be very limited in terms of what I'll be actually voting on, but I know the budget will be up. When I get elected, the budget will be will be up for debate, and that's certainly important to me to make sure that Merrimack is equally represented in that budget, and that once we approve that budget, that moving forward, the state emerges successfully from the pandemic, and then we're making sure that all Merrimackans are also safely emerging as well in that regard. So my website is boydnh.com. I have a Facebook page. My number is 603-660-6077 should you like to call me or text me. My name is Bill Boyd. Election day is April 13th, and I sincerely ask and I humbly ask for your vote of support and confidence. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak with you tonight. And Janine, thank you.
Very well done. That took 2 minutes.
Oh, I got 2 minutes?
You have 2 minutes.
I got 2 minutes.
Well, now it's running down. But
are they scrolling the credits yet?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, he said going?
Keep going?
Keep going. He said,
keep
keep
going.
going.
Keep going. Okay, well, after I've made my pitch, one of the things I will mention, I don't like to toot my horn, but back in 2016, when all this came to a head, I was asked to attend a meeting with then Governor Maggie Hassan, along with other representatives from Merrimack. And the long and the short of it is, some people in the community had asked me about, we ought to test blood. We ought to do some type of analysis of the community's blood. So I actually floated the idea to Governor Hassan, and she agreed to have the Department of Health and Human Services manage a limited community-wide exposure assessment blood test to be administered to selected users that are part of the MVD water system. 217 candidates participated, and one of the things we learned from that assessment, now mind you it's limited, one of the things we learned with these people had 2 times the national limit of what's considered, and I consider 0 to be the acceptable level, just so but what the national limit was at that time, 2 times the national limit of PFAS in their blood serum. And as a consequence of that, I worked with then Representative Nancy Murphy and Laureen Allen, who's active with Citizens for Clean Water. We were able to work with Health and Human Services, and we were able to get the Southern New Hampshire PFAS Health Fair Summit come to Merrimack. And was well attended by about 150 people came out. We had people from Health and Human Services, DES, Norris Cotton Cancer Center, Dartmouth Hitchcock, Catholic Medical Center, UNH, with some of their environmental health research that they had done. There was a smorgasbord of groups that came out to provide information to people. So the health piece, it's one thing about moving forward and cleaning up our water and taking care of that. The larger piece is how do we address potentially some of the public health claims that are definitely going to emerge as a consequence of Saint-Gobain's malfeasance. So anyway, that's very happy to be a part of that, and to take a little bit of a leadership role in that regard for our community. So like I said, I don't like to toot my horn, but people need to know that quietly I was engaged on those particular issues because to me, as a cancer survivor and somebody who had a stent put in 2 years ago, in the interest of full disclosure, people's health is very important, and if somebody's causing those problems, people need to know about it. So I can't begin to stress that. So having the public health component, I think, is going to be critical moving forward in this community once we are able to get our water corrected and cleaned here in Merrimack. So again, Bill Boyd, BoydNH.com.
Oh, you have my vote. You have my vote. So remember, April 13th, please vote, please vote. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.